Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be giving you guys an introduction to Make.com. This is one of my favorite sites for building automations and integrating AI and creating your own personal agents or assistants to go out there and to do work for you. We're going to take you guys kind of through the step-by-step process of how to actually just set it up, get things going, an overview of the entire software, at least what's relevant to you, and kind of knowing and understanding where to actually get started with Make.com. We're going to also be talking a little bit about Zapier in a different video and kind of cross-comparing the two. I do use both for different scenarios, and you'll see some apps and outside third-party sources, applications, sites link up to Make, but don't link up to Zapier or vice versa. So that's the importance of having both for your specific scenarios. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So first thing, we're going to go ahead and start here at Make.com. We're going to go to login. We're going to create a brand new account and walk you guys through the entire process here from the start. Then we're going to click on create an account. From here, you can choose to enter in your name, email, or just connect straight to Google. In this case, I'm just going to enter in my name and email here and just make up a password. All right, and we sign up for free. So Make is very generous. They give you about 10,000 different tasks that you can complete on a monthly basis for free. So now that we have signed in, we're going to check the email to verify account, and we'll come right back to that. All right, so clicked on the email, we're successfully verified. We're gonna go right back into the login, use the same username and password that I just created. I don't know about you guys, but it's really hard to type and talk at the same time. Go. Hopefully we got that right. All right, we are in. So it's going to bring you to this screen. It's going to ask you some questions. You can go through and actually take the time to answer them, or you just click other. And then I would definitely recommend that you do click on this one. Just kind of set a solid foundation. I have no experience going through and answering these, and then get started. All right, guys, now that we've made it into Make.com, one of the first things, as I was mentioning, is what you're gonna see here is your operations or your tasks, the actions that you've used. And I mentioned 10,000, I was wrong, corrected here. We got 1,000 free that we can actually use, build monthly. You can see that this is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything for your first 1,000, and that re-ups every single month. So they're very generous in what they give you here. But over here on the left-hand side, we're gonna direct our attention to, you can add team members to this so you can collaborate. Your scenarios are where all of your scenarios, your actions are going to be stored. Your templates, there's actually pre-made templates out here that you can just go in, you can search, you can start to build off of those. Your connections, I highly suggest that you come here to connections and you start to connect to your different applications. This is where they're going to essentially be stored. And so it might be like Facebook, Instagram, Zero Code Kit, your webhooks, maybe it's Go High Level or HubSpot. Those are where all of your connections are going to live. And you'll have different webhooks here. You can go down to the resource hub and then manage, of course, any of your billing and information over there on the top. So we are here in the building a brand new scenario. So we're going to start the building process. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that we actually get that in here. So you can just go ahead and click on the plus sign and search something right here. You can actually add items to your favorites down here so that they're always across the bar. You have your different tools, your flow center, your tools, and your text parser, which that stuff's going to make a lot more sense later down the road. But as you guys are in the school community and you guys are starting to implement in some of these new scenarios, you're going to have a link that for the majority of them, you're going to have a link that you can actually import the build that I've already done, and you guys can just use it straight from there. So I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. And so if you're in the group and you're looking at specific scenarios, you can click on Import Blueprint. And after you've already been in the group, you'll be able to download it and then bring it in as a JSON file. Hit save and you can see it automatically imports. And so for this particular scenario, we're not going to go into detail with it. We're actually going to walk you guys through some of this in future videos. But RSS, really simple syndication. Basically, it's a convenient way for you to find all of your news articles, your blogs, anything that you are looking for to kind of stay up to date with, and you can bring that in. You can bring it through a text parser, HTTP, to extract the actual text. And so for me, I'm looking for anything that is mentioning the combination of productivity, AI, and business, and it'll extract all of those, bring it through this entire workflow for me, and actually save it as a Google Doc. Staying high level, you can see that I have some OpenAI assistants built in here, which you can go back into. I'll have a video on this for you guys, going in and actually creating your own OpenAI API assistants to bring them in here and do some of the work for you. So whether it's a summarizer, or it's a social media Instagram poster or Facebook poster, someone who's actually going to post content to a specific way, we'll teach you guys how to train it 5 levels deep, 5 layers deep, so that actually will learn to speak like you and output very consistent every single time. Again, we're getting into weeds a little bit there, staying high level with the general introduction. So once we have this baby fired, turned on, we've got all our connections going, then we can go ahead and hit run once, which we'll actually be doing throughout the entire build process as well. That way we can kind of test, is this step working? Is this step working? Is this step working? We'll continue to test the run once scenario. But you can also see down here in the bottom left-hand corner that we have it currently set to running every 15 minutes. It's going to be pulling that new feed. We can change that by clicking on this clock and pretty much change it to whatever we want. Once a day, every day, certain days of the week, month, specified dates, or just on demand. We come in here on demand and just hit run once. Once we have everything set up the way that we want, we're just going to turn this thing on. It's going to turn on, and we're ready to fire on all cylinders. And of course, continue to hit save. I always say it's better to save more often than not, and then lose some of the work that you've been working on. This feature right here, auto align, is really cool. So if we start getting things out of alignment because of just we're so engrossed on the building process, we're like, wow, I really need to just straighten this thing out. That happens, I promise you. We can click that button, everything comes in a nice flow again. And then explain the flow. You can see as it's actually popping from one to the next, it's telling you exactly what the flow is going to look like. With the router where it's on right now in that green, you can see that it split this way and then it went direction. It's always going to stop, kind of like a book working its way from the top down whenever you're working with a router. You can also set it up conditionally that if this happens, if the output is X, Y, and Z, then only go up. If it's A, B, C, then only go down and go through that workflow. There's a lot of different tools in here that we're going to be utilizing that I want you guys to learn how to do it. So even though you may be importing the snapshot just like I did, I still highly suggest that you kind of break down each piece and you follow along with me during the build process, because that's really how you're going to learn how to use this. So with that, guys, that's a high level overview of make.com. We're going to discard these changes. We're not worried about that. This is a false account anyway. We're not going to utilize it. But in the next video, we're going to be walking you guys through how to actually create your first scenario from A to Z. And then we're going to compare make.com with Zapier as well. Kind of have a similar video, introduction video on Zapier and why I use both Make and Zapier for different types of scenarios. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.